In a quiet province far from the noise of the cities, life moved slowly. Villagers woke with the sunrise, worked in the fields, and ended their days around small fires, sharing stories. But there was one house everyone talked about, the estate of Serafim Ivanovich, a strict landlord whose decisions were never questioned. People feared him, not because he was cruel, but because he was unpredictable. His daughter, Lada, lived mostly inside the estate walls. Kind-hearted but painfully shy, she often avoided visitors. Many believed her large body made her uncomfortable in public, but the truth was that Lada carried a weakness no one fully understood. Some days she struggled to breathe, other days she felt dizzy without reason. Doctors came and went, offering medicine that never worked. One cold morning changed everything. Villagers noticed unusual activity around the estate. A carriage stood waiting. Servants rushed about nervously. Then, to everyone's shock, Lada stepped outside with her father. But what truly stunned the crowd was the man standing beside her, Artem, a former servant who now lived alone near the forest. He had strange knowledge of herbs and ancient body healing practices that most people didn't trust. Why would Serafim send his daughter with someone of such low status? Rumors spread quickly. Some thought it was punishment. Others whispered about forbidden rituals. Yet Serafim's expression said something different. He spoke quietly to Artem and handed him a sealed wooden box that looked older than anyone present. Artem nodded as though he had awaited this moment his whole life. The carriage rolled away, carrying Lada toward a mysterious destiny. The villagers watched with heavy silence, unsure if she would ever return, and if she did, what state she would be in. During the journey, Lada felt a mixture of fear and curiosity. Artem remained calm, guiding her deeper into the forest until they reached a small cabin surrounded by herbs hanging from its walls. Inside, the air smelled of smoke and unknown plants. Artem asked her to sit, took out the ancient box, and removed scrolls written in symbols she couldn't understand. The days that followed were strange. Lada was asked to breathe in very specific rhythms. She drank herbal mixtures that warmed her body from the inside. Artem pressed certain points on her back and chest, explaining that her body carried, locked energy, from generations before her. At first she didn't believe him, but soon she noticed small changes. Her breathing became easier. She felt strength in her legs she had never known. She slept more peacefully than ever. Meanwhile, back in the village, fear grew. The villagers discovered that Serafim's family had suffered from a mysterious condition for centuries. Every few generations, one family member would weaken unless a rare ritual was performed, one that only someone with Artem's ancient knowledge could complete. People began to understand that Serafim hadn't given his daughter away, he had attempted to save her life. Weeks passed. Strange lights were seen above the forest at night. Some villagers believed magic was involved. Others thought Lada might be losing her mind. Whispers grew darker when an old woman claimed that if the ritual failed, Lada could lose all her memories forever. Then, without warning, Lada and Artem returned. People gathered in disbelief. Lada looked healthier, her face brighter, her steps lighter, and her voice steady. But she was not transformed physically in the way villagers had imagined. Instead, something inside her had awakened. She spoke clearly and confidently, something the villagers had never witnessed. She told them the truth. The supposed curse was not a sickness but a rare natural condition in her family that reacted strongly to stress and emotion. For generations, people misunderstood it as a curse. Artem had simply taught her how to control her breathing, balance her thoughts, and manage her body's reactions. The most shocking moment came when she revealed the final detail. Her father never planned to keep her hidden. He believed she had the strength to lead one day, but she first needed to discover it herself. Sending her with Artem wasn't abandonment, it was preparation. The villagers watched as Lada stepped forward and announced that she would now take responsibility for the estate. She stood taller than she ever had, not because her body had changed dramatically, but because her spirit finally had. Artem bowed before her, not as a servant, but as her trusted advisor. The villagers realized that the real transformation was not physical, it was the rise of a woman who had finally learned the power within herself. From that day onward, people remembered the event not with fear, but with respect. The landlord's daughter, once hidden from the world, returned stronger than anyone could have imagined. Her story became a legend told across the province, a reminder that sometimes the most shocking transformations happen not to the body, but to the soul.